Yeah, we'll call to order the March 7th Committee of the Whole meeting. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Gustafson. Here. Keen.
Here, and I can hear you.
Roscoe.
Here.
Clock.
Here.
Done.
Here. Item 3.1 is approval of the minutes from the February 21st, 2023 Committee of the Whole meeting. Is there a motion to approve? So moved.
Second,
Motion by trustee Plock. Second by trustee Keen. Is there any discussion, comments? And clerk, would you please call the roll?
Done.
Here.
Keen.
yes.
Gustafson. Yes. Clock.
Yes.
Malco.
Yes. Motion approved. Public comment. Anyone wish to speak? Committee of the Whole? Anyone online? Like a Joe? Mostly plain faces. We'll move into new business, and we only have one agenda item tonight. As previously alluded to, this is discussion and recommendation to the board for approval of a resolution authorizing the purchase of replacement servers for Village Hall, the police department, Public Works as well. They would be village-wide. I will do my best to explain this. But we are in the area where I have the least amount of confidence and experience. We have 5 servers currently distributed amongst various parts of the village as a whole, between police and Village Hall. And the servers all kind of function as individual silos. They all have a specific purpose and just do that job. They're older than I realized. Our 5 servers were purchased in 2008, 2 of them in 2012, 2016, and 2019. My understanding is that standard warranties and industry expectations for life cycles on these are 5 years, sometimes to be extended to 7, generally unsupported completely after that. And we are at a point now of having 3 unsupported, perhaps 4 unsupported. Tad from Premier Technologies, our new IT vendor, who has been spending a lot of time getting to know us, getting to know our environment here, has done a sufficient job developing concern, in my opinion, as to the vulnerability that exists with servers of that age. And in general, Chad expressed it's not his preferred way to structure it, to have all these individualized servers doing a specific job. If you lose that server, you lose that functionality for a while. And given the age of the servers, replacement could be slower or impossible. His recommendation is to go to a 2-server model, and in one of 2 fashions. One where there are 2 larger servers that handle everything we have now and more, that would both serve as storage and processing, and be large enough that should one go down, if something happened to one of them, the other functionality of that server could be put over onto the other one, and we could operate on one server while the other one was brought back online. A second option is 2 servers again, but smaller ones, cheaper ones, and then something called an SAN, Storage Area Network. I don't have the expertise to describe exactly what a storage area network is, other than knowing that that is where the storage would occur, and the servers more serve to process everything we do, process all of our programs, all of our software, all our platforms. But the SAN is a memory network that could be expandable in modules and give us room to grow. And particularly in the realm of video. Video storage is large and data intensive, as alluded to in the memo and Sam's description of our Axon bundle. Body cam storage is separate. Body cam storage is part of that subscription to Axon, and that's going to something called evidence.com. Yes. Squad cams and building cams, and any cam, we've talked about adding other cams in parks. We've talked about adding cameras to Public Works. We don't have any currently now. The more we expand cameras, the more we need to store data, video recordings, data. For that reason, in talking this through, of those 2 options, being as they're within $3,300 of each other, my recommendation would be to go with the one that allows for more expandability, for more scalability. Both of these also come with installation and setup fees of $6,000, whichever option we decide to go with. So,
Question.
Well said.
yeah, that's what I'm presenting. Yeah, trustee Gustafson. And we do have Chad with us as a backstop for me if I can't answer questions.
Online right now?
Do we have enough dedicated physical space for these items? You see us needing to develop more physical space for our electronic equipment.
We've got
So
lots and lots of.
Yeah.
we have
Yeah, we got a ton of room back there. That's for
Yep.
sure.
And if we're going from 5 to 2, what that means? That's a good
I think
question.
it really does mean it's just less, about the same size.
Okay.
And that sand work, is that on-site, off-site,
On site.
on-site?
Again, this is the stuff that's needed to keep us running and functioning every day. Then there's the stuff we talked about in the board meeting. That's the backup system. That's just taking a snapshot of our system every night or twice a day and storing it. Should everything go catastrophic, that's what we would restore from. But that cloud storage doesn't have any function in how we operate during the day. That would be these servers and this SAN.
Now, my last question, when he was brought on board, we were told that he would do an audit.
Yeah.
And there might be some savings. It's great in the monthly backup savings. And I don't have a problem. We have old stuff and we've
Yeah.
cobbled it together and we managed the way we've managed without losing a lot of stuff, but not always.
Not always.
But not always. So going forward, do we now have a comprehensive look at what we need so that we're not going to be cobbling things together once we do this? And then we can plan for 2024.
I believe we do. I believe, he's Premier as an entity has provided us very helpful and very clearly put together, even with pictures, some of the graphs when needed of an assessment of what we have, what we're going to need. And I feel that there's a better big picture strategy and plan now than perhaps there was in the past.
It was piecemeal.
Kind of, yeah. It was a different
I mean,
approach.
we grew as more and more requirements were dumped on
But
us.
we got our warning. We got our shot across the bow after that ice storm too. We lost power.
Yep.
And with the power going out, one of our switches, and the switch isn't a light switch, a switch is a component in our system, in our network, that was over 10 years old, failed. And it took a while. There was Premier personnel on site for the better part of 2 full days. Is trying to, they fix one thing and something else would go. They fix one thing and it was just a chain reaction, and they had to trace it back to find this switch that was at fault and replace that. And it revealed a lot of things that we're just going to do differently from now on. But 10-year-old stuff can fail. That was much easier to recover from than should we lose a server right now. So Chad is on with us. I don't know, Chad, if you want to briefly, and I would ask you to be brief, speak to any thoughts you have at the conclusion of your audit or concerns or recommendations moving forward.
Chad?
It's *7, is that what it is?
*6.
Oh, sorry, it's on mute.
*7.
Is it *7?
Yeah, it is. Chad, you there?
Don't think about that. Yes, I can hear you, so I can chime in. Yes, the audit was completed. We uncovered a handful of various issues, but nothing critical. The largest critical issue we uncovered is the current capacity of servers and what to do if one component failed, because there wasn't or is not enough resources to go back to 100% service without waiting for new replacement parts, if that makes sense. So right now, the servers are probably the largest weak point. Otherwise, most of the other infrastructure that we found is all usable, and we'll deal with it in about 9 months or so when we build your next budget for your next, next cycle. But yeah, servers is the biggest worry we have today.
So Chad, Village President Zula. So if we move forward with these, what would your recommendation be in the lookout in years to come? Would we need to add some more 2 or 3 years down the road, you think? Or what is your thought on that?
It's all about how much growth you have or what changes, new systems you plan on adding. But without any new systems added, then what we quoted is more than enough to take it to 5 years plus.
Okay,
If
so
you bring
that,
in
you
new
think that,
systems,
so you're saying that these new servers would take us out a minimum of 5 years, is what you're saying?
I recommend to put it as a 5-year budget cycle, yes. So in 5 years, we'll have this conversation all over again. That will be dependent on new systems you bring to it between now and then.
Okay, thank you.
New applications, new data.
But going with option 2, which is slightly more money, overall in the long run, would that save us more money in the long run by spending a little bit more upfront at this time?
My opinion is
Yes,
yes. Go ahead, Chip.
the answer is yes, because moving to a storage area network concept, you get a lot more flexibility and growth that's very inexpensive compared to the cheaper option, which is designed for today's needs. But once you reach the cap of what those servers are designed to grow to, now you're looking at spending money all over again buying something bigger. In other words, you reach the capacity really quick versus the SAN design. We can scale that out probably 10 times what it's able to do today.
I'd like to make a recommendation to go with option 2, the 2 smaller servers with the storage area network at the price of $26,030 plus the $6,000 setup fee.
Motion by trustee Block.
I'd second that.
Any further discussion?
I just have one question, trustee King.
Yep.
Should we plan for an assessment 4 years from now to go back and take a look at systems, not only with expansion in mind, but replacement for obsolescence? Do you think that we need to put something in play in regard to that so that we have a benchmark to follow once the installation is completed?
I think absolutely, but I would go a step further. I would hope the Premier will be doing that for us on an annual basis. But yes, we should, absolutely should.
Okay, that was my question.
Yep.
The warranty. What warranty do we get with material and installation?
I believe these come with a standard 5-year warranty, and then if we feel we need to, when the time comes, we could buy an additional 2 years. Is that correct?
You are correct.
So that comes with, that's within the 26,000, okay?
But you pay premium, as I understand from Chad. You
Yeah.
pay a premium for those extra 2 years.
All right, good.
If you want it. So. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Keen,
Yes.
Block,
Yes.
Dunn,
Yes.
Malco,
Yes.
Gustafson.
Yes,
Motion passes. Thank you. Does anyone have anything under old business?
oh, yes, please. Back to the disaster and, or the ice storm and the people who were without power and that email. The gent who wrote it or asked for a disaster plan. I know there are disaster plans here. We have, and the fire department has. Maybe it's time to disseminate that information. I know it's late, so to speak, but review and just assure people that we have things in place, and as you're reviewing the needs, tweak it. But I just did want people to know that or understand we do have something in place here.
We're also part of a larger countywide
Right.
disaster plan. There's a lot of the resources that might become available during disaster or resources that would be located outside of Roscoe, but available at Roscoe residents. That is true. Yes.
Hey Scott, this TV keeps flickering. You might need to be put on that replacement plan too.
That's it's a USB connection or not USB, HDMI connection.
I think we should have them do that.
Or what's that?
They should come in and they should have Premier do that.
Okay.
I think we should.
I also think we're running very old HDMI. You know,
That's
HDMI,
something, the cables there are very.
HDMI itself has changed probably 5 times since those were running.
It just keeps flickering at night.
That's perfect. I'm glad I can't see it.
We keep catching it.
Don't stare at it, Stacy. Don't stare at it.
It keeps, in the corner of my eye, I keep
Sure.
seeing it going
I hear
on and
you.
off. and on and off.
Any public comment?
Sure, you came in kind of late. Did you have a public comment or anything? No. Okay, thank you.
Well,
Wanted to ask.
And I don't believe we have need for executive session, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn at 7:02.
So moved. Second.
Motion by trustee Clark, second by trustee Dunn. Clerk, please call the roll.
Gustafson,
Yes.
Dunn,
Yes.
Malaco.
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Yes.